Hi grades 3. So today we are going to move to another lesson, and today we will be looking at comparing fractions. That means we'll be looking at which fraction is bigger or greater and which one is smaller. So we're going to look at comparing fractions and ordering fractions, okay? So we're going to see which one should come first and which one should come next. Now here's an example. I've given you two fractions. I have 3 over 4 and I have 5 over 8. If I asked you which one is greater, is 3 over 4 bigger or is 5 over 8 bigger? Chances are you might say 5 over 8 because obviously 5 is bigger than 3 and 8 is bigger than 4. But let's find out which one is actually greater. So I'm going to draw a bar. I'm going to draw two bars actually. And we're going to find out which one is bigger. So I'm going to move this closer so we can see better. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to draw. My first bar will be for 3 over 4. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I have 4 parts. And how many are shaded? 3 parts should be shaded. So I have 1, 2, and 3. So I have my 3 parts that are shaded. Now, my next one is my 5 over 8. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay, now so I have my 8 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And now how many parts do I need colored? I'm going to say, so we need 5 parts colored. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you look at the picture, now can you tell me which one's greater? It's this one, right? 3 over 4 is greater. What's my greater symbol? So my 3 over 4 is greater than 5 over 8 because look, the bar graph is telling me that 3 over 4 is greater than 5 over 8. This is my 5 over 8 graph, bar, and this is my 3 over 4. Now let's say if we didn't have a picture or a bar graph to compare, how would we find out which fraction is bigger then? In that case, we would need to list down the multiples, or we would need to find the equivalent fractions of both our numerator and our denominators to see which one is greater. So what am I saying when we need to write down the multiples or find the equivalent fractions? Okay, so here's our step. So I have 2 over 5. I'm going to write down 2 over 5. Okay, I'm going to write down the multiples of 2 and 5. So what comes after 2 in 2 times table? 2. So I have 4, 6, 8, and 10. Let's stop here. Let's stop at 10. I have my 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 times 2 gives me 4. 2 times 3 gives me 6. 2 times 4 gives me 8. 2 times 5 gives me 10. I went all the way up to 2 times 5. I need to do the same with my denominator. So it is 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. I listed down the multiples of both 2, so my numerator and my denominator. So these are my multiples of 2 times table, 5 times table. Now I need to do the same with this set of this fraction, 1 over 3. Okay, so let's write down, I just need to make sure that you can see, 1 over 3. Let's write down the first 5 multiples of 1 times table. So I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are my multiples of 1. I need to do the same with my denominator. Remember, whatever you do to the top, you do to the bottom. So 2, so I have my 3, now I need to list down the multiples of 3. So 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. Stop yourself. Do you see any numbers that are similar? Right now, the reason we cannot compare these two fractions is because, look, we neither have the similar numerators or the denominators. We need to find a common denominator. We need to find a common denominator. This is a must step in order for us to compare fractions to see which one is bigger. We have to find a common denominator. If we do not have bar graphs, this is the way to find a common denominator. We list down the multiples of our numerators and our denominators until we come to a common denominator or bottom number. Now, if you look at the screen, if you're looking at these two pictures, take a minute to find out where do we see a common bottom number or denominator. That's right, 6 over 15 and 5 over 15. So we have these two are common because we are looking for a common denominator. In order for us to compare fractions, we must find a common denominator. How do we find a common denominator? The step that I just did with you guys. I listed down my multiples of 2, so my numerator, I need to do the same for my denominator. Same for my numerator, same for my denominator. Once I do that, I can clearly see that 15 is the common denominator, which means now these were my multiples. This is the step for my 2 over 5 fraction, and this was the step for my 1 over 3 fraction. Now tell me, which one is the greater fraction? Exactly, because 6 is bigger than 5. 15 is same, so it doesn't matter, but 6 is definitely bigger than 5. And that tells me that 2 over 5 is greater than 1 over 3. Isn't that helpful? So we can do the same with bar graphs, fraction graphs, bars, or we can do it with finding a common denominator. Now grades 3, most likely you will need to do this for our exercise. So I want you to get into the habit of finding a common denominator. I'm going to do another example with you guys.